Hello and welcome to part 2 of No One Gets Out of Here Alive. My name is Holly Lyon-Hawk and I will be taking you on a gentle, sometimes humorous and sometimes challenging meander through the myths, beliefs and ideas around all things end of and after life. Each week you will get to hear what various people's random thoughts are on the big question: what is the meaning of life? If you would like to share your thoughts, please send your voice clips in to me via WhatsApp and I'll do my very best to include them. Also each week there will be a section called Give the Flowers Now, which was inspired by my darling maternal grandfather, Roderick George Balcombe, who would say, don't leave it until the funeral to send flowers. Send people flowers now, telling them what they mean to you and how they have touched your lives. And I would love to hear from you. So if you have some flowers that you would like to send someone, please send me your voice clip telling me who it is and how they have touched your lives, along with your name, email address, and the name and home address of the person you are sending your flowers to. For each person who is featured, I will send some beautiful flowers to that person on your behalf. In this series of podcasts, I will be chatting with a whole range of guests, from sound artists, willow weavers, through to end-of-life doulas, and people who have had near-death experiences to help give you a more holistic, rounded view. It just may be a few new possibilities of how the inevitable can be approached, because remember, no one, not even you, gets out of here alive. Can I ask you what your spiritual beliefs are in what happens to us after we do leave this planet?
Well, I don't believe really in death. As a matter of fact, I had a couple of experiences during all of this. I believe life consciousness is just continuous. I think we just leave one realm and going onward to another realm, and that other realm works differently than this realm. But I don't believe there's an end. I don't believe there's an end. I think it's just as endless, and it goes on and on and on. And as I say, I had a couple of experiences out there, some interactions with my grandmother who had been dead for many, 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 many years. And I could feel the presence so deeply of so many other, so much other energy. I'll just call it energy on another realm that I thought, no, this can't be this can't be an end. So I wasn't unhappy about the prospects of death, which again, let's face it, who's not going to have to face death at some point? Many people struggle with death, but why? Nobody is going to get out alive.
No.
So my advice would be to become friendly with it in the interim, and that will make your life much more beneficial, much more easier, much more graceful, because there's always people fighting against dying, fighting to stay alive, fighting to stay young, fighting to stay vibrant, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, why do you want to do all that fighting? It takes tremendous effort.
Yeah.
And the one great thing about my cancer, it didn't, I was wasting away. I mean, I literally, I almost went below 4% body fat. I was literally wasting away.
Gosh.
And I didn't have the energy to fight. I did not have the energy to fight. The longer this went on, the weaker I got, the less energy. So I didn't fight. And anybody who did want to fight, I just let them alone. I'd be like, okay, you go ahead and fight. Yeah. Good. You enjoy that. But I will not be participating with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Which a lot of friends and family took as me giving up. But it wasn't a giving up. It was a surrendering. But it wasn't a giving up. It was simply not doing it in the way that a lot of people do. And I think that's what scared a lot of people as well. I lost a lot of friends. A lot of people never spoke to me again.
Really?
Um, yes, yes. It just terrified them. Absolutely terrified them.
Because we live in a society that is so evidence-based, so materialistic that
Yes,
to listen to, we're not, it's not prized, is it, to have amazing intuition and those abilities. It's all cognitive ability that we're
correct.
prized on. And
You're so right.
it's I feel very, very strongly that's why we've got such a huge disconnect in our society, and there's so much suffering. And you talking about how important it is that we get up close and personal and make friends with death. I the Buddhists, I know they meditate on it every day to really sit with it, to reveal the beauty of life, and that we could just blink of an eye, just go. Do you have any suggestions for people how they can begin to connect with their own mortality?
Yes. Um, as a matter of fact, this I learned on my journey. Every single second, every breath, every heartbeat, there is a birth and there's a death, right?
Mm,
So, for example, the in breath, which is called inspiration, in spirit, right? That's the life
mm,
part, that's the birth part. And then there's the expiration, or when we expire, there is the out breath, and that's the death part.
mm,
Okay. And that each moment, that renewal between birth and death is going on every single second, every breath, every second of every day. The sun is moving during the day and it's going towards night. Every second is clicking a new birth, a new death,
mm,
a new birth, a new death. And that moment, once it's passed, will never occur again.
mm,
Certainly not for you in this way at this time in this plane.
mm,
So that we are living through billions and billions of births and billions of deaths every second of our life.
mm.
The person we were when we were 5 is no longer alive. They birthed and died
Mm.
into another person who's now alive.
Yes.
So I really try to get people into that it's a constant cycle.
Mm,
And it happens all the time. It happens with every breath.
mm,
Every breath has got the birth and the death in it. And even the heart beating, there's the beat, which is the birth and the life. And then there's that second of pause, which is the death part. And then there's another beat. Then the life comes back again. And so I try to get people into that head and watching that
mm,
and how you're actually living it all the time. It's just that people have this concept that death is this really bigger, more awful thing.
yeah.
And I don't think it's like that at all. As a matter of fact, I've been around a lot of people who have died, and it's just kind of they're there and then they go
Yeah.
out. And as long as it's not horribly, painful, like from an accident or something like that,
Mm,
it's usually relatively on the calm side.
mm,
But it's just kind of like walking through a door,
mm.
which even that's a birth and a death. When you walk through a door into a new place, the old place has died and the new place is being created.
Mm.
So when people start watching their lives in that regard, all of a sudden for a lot of them that I've worked with, it changes their relationship with it.
Mm, mm,
They don't feel as fearful,
mm,
and they don't and and I believe also that we program um uh uh we program everything really, but we have been programmed to believe that death is some kind of painful
mm,
painful or scary thing,
mm,
which I don't believe in at all.
mm,
Even if you've lived a terrible life,
mm,
I don't believe that. I believe that unless the person's thoughts are going to take them into a painful and scary place,
mm,
I don't really believe that really occurs.
mm, mm.
So that's been my
That's
what
really
I
helpful actually to truly connect with the fact that every single moment is a birth and a death, birth and a death. But
yes.
everybody gets so caught up in their heads of I've got to do this next, I've got to do that next, that there's such a disconnect, isn't there? And
Yes.
I think with so some of the families that I support and help, for many of them, it's just a case of, I mean, well, actually, thinking about it, you know, the medical profession, death is the ultimate disaster, isn't it? They failed, and that's in our psyche now. But it's not a failure. It's just part of life. It is who we are. We are as much death as we are life,
Exactly.
and it's very. I think. I mean, my thoughts are that in so many aspects we've been disconnected from death and dying. People die in hospitals and care homes,
Yes.
hospices. That
Yes.
families don't get to witness it anymore. They don't get to get close up and personal with it. And even afterwards, the body is then taken straight away by an undertaker, and they're never seen again. Or if they are, they're pumped full of chemicals to make them look like they're alive. Do everything to protect people from the pain. And actually, with families that I've supported when they've come in and helped me care for their dead, actually just reassuring them that the pain is part of it, the loss. You know, the
Absolutely.
moving through all of that, but it's all okay and it's all normal. And going back to what you were saying earlier, not attaching a story to it, just witnessing it.
Witnessing. Exactly. And being present with it.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah, yeah,
That's all anyone can really do.
yeah.
And then and not allowing the fear reflex, which by the way, I teach Alexander technique.
Mm,
The fear reflex really starts between the head and the top of the spine, right where the two connect, because that's where the brainstem is going down to become the spinal cord, although I like to call it the brain cord,
right.
because it's really your brain going down your spine.
Mm,
And it's right at that reflex. And I often tell people, why do you need that to be tight? Why can't you just let go of that?
mm,
Even if you are in a fearful situation, you're not making it better
mm,
by trying to put the brakes on.
mm,
So why don't you just let go and see what the situation is unfolding to you?
mm,
Because you never know. It might not be it might not be as fearful as you think.
mm,
Uh, because, and we all know how, like, even when I was in my diagnosis, we start hearing, when we get afraid, we start hearing things in a particular way, as opposed to the way that they're being presented. And so that's what I also caution people. Really listen, really look, and really kind of be there
mm,
with it. And don't run away from it or freak out or try to push it away,
mm,
because you don't know what you're missing that might be of great value
mm,
to you. And I always say that was the greatest blessing. I never freaked out. I never got highly fearful
mm,
in at the beginning of that situation,
mm,
because I really believe if I had, I wouldn't be alive today.
mm,
I really believe if
mm.
I had gone into the fear of what this doctor, this man was telling me, I would have probably, died shortly thereafter.
Yeah, yeah. It's so incredible, isn't it? I just want to ask you quickly about your because you did have some really profound dreams and
Oh,
other experiences, but so talk a little bit about that, but also what your thoughts are on what our dream state is.
yes, our dream state is for me another dimension.
Hmm.
And I kind of think it's maybe the one just beyond this dimension, because we do it often. So I think it's more on the fourth dimensional reality than this reality. And it's filled with the connection of the people who've passed on. So in other words, it's kind of like the communication dimension between the third and the fifth that people can access between those two. As my cancer progressed, I was dying. I mean, you know, the cancer was eating up my body, which was part of the therapy actually, because they needed me to kind of detox a lot of things before they went in for that operation. And as you're dying, you become closer to that fourth dimension. I started having even trouble, like I had to remember if this was real and really happening or not, because my dreams became so real that I wasn't sure if that was the reality or this was the reality.
Yes.
And that's when I started writing everything down.
Yeah.
Also to remember it, because I, even in the third dimensional reality, I would feel so there and so present. And then when a new moment came, I was like, wait, what just happened in that other moment? Because again, I think I was slipping into that other reality, that other dimension. And you know, the cancer, that's what cancer does. It really does take you into a new place, a new space. So I felt my dreams and the things that were happening for me were all very informative. I did have I shouldn't say bad. There were no bad dreams, but because they were about my grandmother mostly, whom I loved and adored. But one dream that I finally did have, a repeat dream of my grandmother, I finally realized that I was probably going to die in that dream. And that she and my father and my aunt were all there. They were preparing me for the crossover. And I had a previous dream like that where I didn't think they were preparing me for death, but then I became pretty clear about that. And I started using that information. So that's when I had the first conversation with my sister, who had to be there for the operation. And I said, look, I don't know if this is going to work. And I want you to know, it all seems very good on that other side. They all seem very happy, and they seem to be preparing for me. So I'm not unhappy about any of this. So what was great is I was able to use the dreaming as a way to comfort people in this reality and to kind of prepare myself for what was to come. And then I got surprised and I didn't actually pass over. However, when I came out of the surgery, I thought I had died. I actually thought I had died. Because I felt so fabulous. I felt euphoric. And B, because I actually saw another person in the room, which I realized was my grandmother, except she was way more glamorous and way more unusual than how she had appeared to me before. And I really thought I had passed. But I believe that moment it was right after surgery, I believe I was between two worlds.
Yeah.
I believe I was between this world and the fourth dimension.
Yeah.
And also I'm sure the drugs helped as well. Because I just gotten out of surgery. But I really felt like I had one foot in one and one foot in the other. And then all of a sudden this one became more real than that one. And then I realized I was actually still here.
Incredible. It's just incredible. And how has your life changed, Gary, since?
Again, I really don't feel like I'm Gary anymore. I mean, I go by that name. But the old Gary, again, there's none of the angst, the fears, the day-to-day hardships are gone. Everything is a joy, even if it's washing a dish. There's no more the idea of like, oh God, I've got to do this or I've got to do that. That's all just gone.
Really? So every single day, you just are in this beautiful place of
it's just this beautiful,
bliss.
it's another new opportunity, like doing this interview.
Yeah,
It's a new thing. It's a new thing, a
yeah,
birth and a death that's
yeah,
happening that I'm participating in.
yeah.
And I feel just charged by it. And when when I am in a situation that's going badly because something's happened to
Mm,
someone or something's very wrong with someone, I feel honored to be there.
yeah.
And I feel I try to bring more of that to the situation because for me, when people suffer, the sadness is, for me, if you want to call it a sadness, it's just that they can't see the other side.
Yeah.
Like it's right there.
Yes.
But unfortunately, they're stuck in one side. They're
Yeah.
looking through one set of glasses and not the other set of glasses.
Yeah.
And so I see if I can move that energy to the other side.
Yes.
And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't,
Yeah.
So
And then
that's really what
it's that release, isn't it? Letting people be on their
yeah,
own journeys, isn't it? And
and let them be on their own journey and I
yeah.
let it go. And then I go back to a state of bliss that, I've done
Yeah.
what I'm here to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. A passing and a rebirth, passing and a
Yes.
rebirth every single moment. I just think that's a glorious way to live. Absolutely
Yeah.
glorious. So, interestingly, as many, and as you say, perspective is key. Many people would have seen what you've been through as, an absolutely horrific experience. But for you, it
is the greatest event of my life.
Yes. Yeah.
It truly became the greatest blessing I think I've ever been given.
Yeah. That's remarkable.
And then it didn't stop when I got back.
Yeah.
It just kept multiplying.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was like, oh my God, I never knew it was this good.
I know, and it's so sad, isn't it, that for most of us, it's almost like a sleepwalking, isn't it? You just get so embroiled in the story that it's difficult to move past that into the bigger picture.
Yes, and you are so right.
I absolutely, everybody should read your book.
Oh, thank
Gary
you.
Ramsey, Bliss, One Hero's Journey. I mean, as you can see, it's well thumbed because there are so many beautiful quotes in there, actually, that I really, really love. And there was one, I was listening to an interview you did with somebody, and you mentioned T.S. Eliot quote that was rather beautiful.
Yes. Yes.
Can you share that with everyone? Eliot, yeah, that's lovely.
Yes, and right now I can't remember the exact quote, but we are always going back through the remembered gate.
Yes.
That we're re-entering.
Yes.
And again, it goes right back to that birth, that passing and that birth idea.
Yeah.
And that in the end, we always end back up really where we started from. That there's not a true end and a true beginning.
No.
There's just a continuation of the journey.
Yes.
And the journey just never ends.
Yes.
It just and the actual quote is, "We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all of our exploring will be to arrive where we started and to know the place for the first time through the unknown remembered gate, when the last of earth left to discover is that which was the beginning, at the source of the longest river, the voice of the hidden waterfall, and the children in the apple tree, not known because not looked for, but heard, half heard, in the stillness between two waves of the sea."
Just beautiful.
And I just love that.
Just beautiful.
That's really what we've been discussing.
Yeah.
That's really what we've been discussing.
Yeah, it's the wonder of reality, the great mystery that we will maybe never ever fully understand, but that's what it's all about, isn't it? And
that's what it's all about.
And I love where you say, just follow your bliss. Giving people permission. follow your bliss, because that's so important. That's something we get so caught up in the drudgery of day-to-day living. We forget actually what it is that brings us that bliss.
Oh, and I pass people all the time, like, a mother with a young baby and the baby is fussing and she's all panicked because, it's a first baby.
Yes.
You can't see
Oh,
that
yes.
one. Because when they have more, they don't get panicked. And I think, oh my God, that poor thing, if she only knew she's having the greatest, most glorious moment of her life.
Yes. Yeah.
And she's not really there.
No.
But if she could just see it for what it is, she'd be in total bliss.
Yeah. Gary, thank you so much for being here with me today. So welcome. Really.
You, Holly. This is such a delight.
I could talk to you for all day. Really, I could. And if people want to find out more about you, tell us where they go. Tell people where they go to find you.
So Amazon is where the book is.
Yep.
I'm on Facebook. I also do weekly Facebook Lives, and that's under my name, Gary Ramsey, author, or Gary Ramsey. And then Instagram, I have a Bliss, bliss.ramsey there. And those are my main platforms where I really... Yeah.
And your website, though, you can hear your amazing opera singing.
Yes.
You have the most incredible voice. It's just beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
And that's GaryRamsey.org. So you can just go search me there.
Lovely.
And that gives all information and everything. All roads lead back. Generally, if people put in Gary Ramsey Bliss, it comes up.
Yeah, it did for me. So they should be able to find you quite easily. Gary, thank you so much.
Holly, thank you. What a delight.
Have a blissful rest of your day, won't you? Rest of your life.
And you too. and everybody out there.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Gary. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
It's time for the segment where we give the flowers now. And this week, I wish to send some flowers to Brenda Cameron, personal development consultant and professional speaker. She's an advanced mind and body connection coach, a clinical hypnotherapist, master NLP practitioner, trainer, mentor and advisor, and a professional speaker. Now, Brenda came into my life a few years ago now. Gosh, I'm not quite sure which year it was. Feels like a lifetime ago now. But if it wasn't for Brenda, I wouldn't be sitting here now speaking with you, and I wouldn't have been able to have supported all the families I have done over these many years. Some of you will know, but many years ago I was chronically ill, and I had something called ME, stroke, CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome, which I'd had quite severely for many years, and was at one point in a wheelchair, in a scooter, and bedbound, all sorts of things, and with very little hope of getting better. However, somewhere in my heart I always knew I could get better, but I just didn't know how. I tried all sorts of things, Harley Street doctors, injecting myself with vitamins and all sorts. And then I stumbled across Brenda Cameron, who is a beautiful lady who also used to have ME, CFS, and she used to teach what's called the lightning process, which was developed by Phil Parker. And it's basically an NLP form of therapy that helps people to get better. It works in a way that helps to reprogram the mind to put the body into a state of relaxation so it can begin to heal. So instead of being constantly in the fight and flight mode, where the body's constantly being flooded by cortisol and all sorts of other things, it gets put into this relaxive state. And Brenda was the lady I did the 3-day course with. And Brenda, if you're listening, I really, truly cannot thank you enough. You have no idea how much you've touched my life and gone on, therefore, to touch everybody else's lives that I've come into contact with. So, Brenda Cameron, I would just like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You're an inspiration. I'm forever indebted to you, and just sending you all my love. I want to give you the flowers now to tell you how absolutely phenomenal, incredible, and wonderful you are. Thank you, Brenda. So that's all for now, and I would like to say a very big thank you for being brave enough to dare to listen to a podcast that talks about something we, as a nation, tend to prefer. Doesn't exist, doesn't apply to our lives. But no, it does. No one gets out of here alive. And being more aware and engaged helps us all to have a more positive experience when the time does come to either us or our family, friends and pets. If you'd like to subscribe, please visit www.hollylionhawk.com.